Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to some more Williams Road to Glory here today, and this is the French Grand Prix, round 10 of the season. And if you guys missed round number 9, the Canadian Grand Prix, in which we had a controversial ending to the race, then go check that one out if you haven't done so already. I'll leave a link as always in the top right hand corner of the screen, so go check that one out before we jump into potential spoilers. But today we're here at Circuit Paul Ricard at France, and I'm looking forward to it. The reason for that is because I actually quite like the circuit, and also I recently did a league race here, so my pace is pretty decent, let's say, and I feel pretty confident. So we're going to be able to go quite quick and push quite early on. So it's going to be an exciting weekend. Are we title contenders? That's the big question heading into this event. After what happened in Canada, it wasn't ideal. We kind of derailed our momentum. You know, we scored points in every single race up until the last one. So we'll see what happens. But can we get back on track? Can we get back in that fight for the championship? We're about to find out. Let's jump into it. If you guys are going to enjoy the episode, leave a like, subscribe for more, and let's see what happens. We delve into the weather forecast first and foremost, and we have some rain for qualifying, so that's going to make things very, very spicy. We then look at the progression chart, and as you can see, we have a minor upgrade on the car this weekend, but generally speaking, no progress compared to teams around us, and we need to try and kind of make some more progress. We made a big step forward, you know, for Azerbaijan. We need another one of those, and currently we do have a major chassis upgrade on the way, which should take us maybe above Renault Alpine and possibly on par with McLaren. So fingers crossed we can try and add to that here today. With that said though, we jump into practice, and as I mentioned at the intro, this track is decent for me. I enjoy it. You know, it's not my favourite. There's a lot better tracks out there, but in terms of qualifying, I think it's a really satisfying one lap kind of track, you know, for qualifying, and hooking it all up feels quite decent. So it's going to be interesting. Sector 3 is the big challenge. That's where the AI are pretty strong, and we need to work on it. Sector 1 is our strongest. So yeah, after practice we scored a decent amount of R&D points, and a very marginal change to the driver acclaim as we head into Q1. Now this qualifying session is going to be a bit truncated, a bit separated, a bit kind of spread out because of the rain. So essentially we're going to only have time for one lap in Q1 before the rain arrives. Even though it doesn't seem like it right now, it kind of picked up really quickly in terms of the weather, and currently we're at the end of my first time lap, and this one has to be good because I might not get a chance for another one. So heading our way now through the third from last corner, just trying to make sure we hook it all up as we try and keep the lap nice and tidy. At this point the soft tyres are screaming, you know, overheating temperatures as we make our way through the final corner, opening DRS, and to be fair, it was a very clean, tidy and smooth lap. Bit of time lost in the first chicane, turn 1 and 2. I ran a bit deep at the first corner originally. We go P5 ahead of Perez and Russell, and at the end of Q1 that lap was enough to get into Q2. Even though we got P13, if you look at the margins, we was actually safe by 0.6 of a second, and even Russell got through in P15 by 0.2. So even though it was P13, only half a second off the lead, and the pace seems very strong. We then head into Q2, and you might notice there's only 40 seconds to go. The reason for that is because Q2 was in the rain to start the whole session, so I could see it was going to go dry at the end, so I didn't bother going out and just waited for the track to dry up. And here we are then, a one lap banzai attempt once again, just like in Q1, one or done, simple as that. And we're going to try and see if we can nail the lap, making our way through the final couple of corners once again, making sure we hold on to the lap time. And this one has to be good because we're not going to get a chance to improve as we open DRS and run up to the line, and it's going to be P1. Wow, and we go quickest of everyone with a 25.9 and the fastest lap of the weekend so far. Eventually Albon went on to get top spot in Q2 with a 25.8, but crucially worth noting, Max Verstappen out in P14, so a big elimination there. And also I believe Bottas got eliminated in Q1 as well, so quite a few surprises so far in this qualifying session. But we now move to Q3, and we're only going to get one lap in this session because there's more rain on the way. So again, one lap, that is it. This is it. So enjoy the lap, guys, and let's see if it's good enough to get us in the mix. And there we go, job done. P2 front row alongside Danny Kvyat, and by the end of the session the rain started to fall, and that was going to be it for Q3 in what is a massive shock. The front row that nobody expected, Danny Kvyat and myself 1 and 2, Hamilton P3, Ocon for the Renault Alpine team up in P4. What a weird qualifying and a really mixed up grid there, and Hamilton only managing P3, but that's so strange. On pace alone, yeah, we got a front row. My lap in Q2 was slightly quicker, 25.9, worth noting. But still, pace was great. Car was working well, and I was really happy with it. So a very strong qualifying session. We outscored Verstappen in the rivalry, and we are going to start the French Grand Prix here at Paul Ricard from the front row of the grid. So let's jump into it, and let's see if the pace is legit.
Here we are once more at the Le Castellet circuit for another round of this year's Formula One World Championship. Renault took their first French Grand Prix win all the way back in the inaugural race in 1906, but it was another 73 years before they could take their second. So they'll be pushing hard to delight the local fans here today. The circuit Paul Ricard then, a 3.6 mile track, 25 miles east of Marseille. 15 corners here, 6 to the left and 9 to the right, with the main overtaking chance expected going into turn 8. Top speeds today should be around 205 miles per hour. Now, Anthony Davidson, I wonder, might we be in for some early pit stops today from the midfield teams, all trying to put some pressure on or disrupting things for the leaders up front?
If you're in the middle of the pack, you know, you got your own race to run, I don't think they're going to be thinking about causing trouble up front. However, closer to the head of the pack, don't be surprised to see some split strategies. If you're running second and third, for example, bringing one car in for an undercut while leaving the other one out there longer can put a lot of pressure on the leader and maybe force them into an error.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Daniel Kvyat will start today from pole position, and Martinez completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Hamilton, Ocon, Alexander Albon, and Sainz, Ricciardo, Leclerc, Norris, and Lance Stroll, Perez, Gasly, Sebastian Vettel, and Verstappen, Russell, Grosjean, Valtteri Bottas, and Kevin Magnussen, Giovinazzi, and Nobuharu Matsushita. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head to trackside for today's race.
Now, I didn't expect this heading into the race at France. I did not envision myself starting on the front row alongside an AlphaTauri behind the red safety car. It's not in my plan, so I don't know what to expect in this race. I feel like Mercedes, for some reason, had a weird kind of qualifying. I'm expecting them to take the sandbags off in the race, but we start on the front row, P2. Now, we've got a very strong chance here of taking the lead, so I'm going to absolutely send it on the first lap and try my hardest. ERS is very hard to save around here, so at the same time, I will need to try and manage that a little bit and just use a little bit of caution when necessary. Worst ways, if Kvyat is really fast, he can just drag me along and we can just try and race away. Now, in terms of the race strategy, the game seems a little bit restrictive in terms of what we can do. So two-stopper is going to be the way to go, at least based off what the game's saying. Soft to medium to hard is going to be the one that I've chosen. But I will try and go for a soft to hard tyre, so a simple one-stop. We'll see how it goes. Worst ways, if I can't make it, I'll two-stop it. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one here today. No rain expected. 1.2 laps of fuel because this track is quite, heavy on fuel use. So I want to try and have a little bit more in the reserve. And yeah, waffle aside, let's get racing. And can we secure a surprise podium or maybe even a race win here at France? Okay, here we go. If there was ever a time for a perfect start, it's this one. Lights out, away we go. Oh wow, Kvyat gets an absolute missile of a start. He runs away into turn 1. We're gonna try and go the long way around here to stay ahead of Hamilton, which we managed to achieve for now. Not out of the woods just yet. Let's try and stay ahead. We've got Albon P4, Ocon P5 in Renault Alpine's home race. But let's see if we can get to the back of Kvyat here straight away and try and close that gap. Hamilton's going to be so fast and he's going to be a massive threat from behind. So we're going to have to use everything we've got in terms of pace to try and keep a 7-time world champion behind us as we head on to the Mistral straight for the first time. Hamilton in the wheel tracks here in the slipstream, but he's not quite close enough. I used quite a fair bit of ERS to stay ahead. Kvyat seemingly showing some good pace early on. He's keeping that gap already. Let's try and close in on the Russian if possible. But so far we've held on and we've kept Hamilton at bay. There's a big gap behind us. You can see Ocon in P4. He's battling with Albon and they've dropped off massively. So we've already got a 3-car breakaway out front here. So this could be interesting. But I just can't believe, and surely we don't have the raw race pace to, you know, secure a podium here today. Surely qualifying must have just been a one-off, because this is not a track I expect to be competitive at. Either way, we're still P2 at the end of lap 1. Lap 3, DRS enabled. Kvyat slightly quicker on me on that lap. Let's see if we can stay within a second of the Russian. Meanwhile, Hamilton isn't that close anymore, and this is now the lap where the AI, in theory, should not be at full power anymore. So I feel like I've got the pace here to actually maybe even challenge Danny Kvyat here. Let's see if we can strike while the iron's hot, try and take the lead early on, and use Kvyat to kind of split myself from Hamilton. I think I'm a bit far back for this one, but we can try and close the gap a little bit. Dare I say, maybe even drop Lewis out of DRS range, which would be quite surprising. Hamilton fastest lap. We're all starting to close up a little bit. I'm a little bit quicker than Kvyat now. I feel like the pace is starting to change, and we're all just bunching up a little bit. But crucially, we're pulling away from the pack of cars behind. Albon is about to drop Ocon out of his DRS range, but he's 3.5 behind. So at the minute, it's well and truly a 3-way fight for the win between a Williams, an AlphaTauri, and Hamilton in the Mercedes, which I did not expect at any point coming into this weekend. But here we are, starting to struggle now on rear tyre traction, but the pace is still good. This is my scheduled pit stop lap, but I feel like I can go a bit longer. 54% left front, pretty worn, but we can definitely go at least 2 more laps. I am thinking though the 2-stop's going to be the way to go. I don't think we've got good enough tyre wear to make it work, so I might have to just accept the 2-stop. I mean, we've got good track position, so I may as well use it and try and 2-stop it, as Hamilton closes up quite a lot here. I'm going to pit. Last minute decision, but I'm going to go for it. Kvyat pits as well. Seems like everyone's going to pit, so we may as well go for it. Hamilton in as well. Last lap, a few other cars pit, so literally it seems like everybody's 2-stopping, so this isn't a bad decision to make. The 1-stop just seemed a bit too far to go, so we're going to play it safe. We might benefit here from having one of the last pit boxes. I should be able to stay ahead of Hamilton and behind Kvyat probably. Let's see. Yeah, that's okay. A little bit of a small hold. Hamilton, though, has been held for a long time, and he's going to, you know, regret that. Looks like everyone's going for soft tyres, though, which is interesting. So, yeah, a bit of a split strategy. Kvyat just gets out ahead of both of the Haas cars, so unfortunate timing there, so that could help out his race massively. Anyway, let's get to work here with these Haas cars. Matsushita and Magnussen battling away the 2 teammates. I'm just going to try and find a way through here. Just follow Matsushita basically. Losing a bit of time, but that's okay. Draining the ERS just to try and make a move here as we get on the inside into the long right of Senior. That's going to give us the inside through the double right. And there we go, we're through, we're getting past the traffic. That's good news for us, getting the Haas roadblock out of the way. Right, let's just push on now, see what kind of pace we have on these. Obviously, Kvyat will be a lot quicker. So he's looking pretty decent right now. I've got to try and keep him close enough that I can catch him on the soft tyres. So this is a big stint right now. We've lost a lot of time to Kvyat, you know, in the pit stop phase there, just by having to rejoin behind the Haas cars. So let's try and push and try and keep him in sight. Personal best, decent enough pace. We set a new fastest lap as Kvyat hits traffic. I believe Hamilton's going to take it away. No, he doesn't. So we keep the fastest lap for now. And this is helping us now catch Kvyat, who's stuck behind 2 Alphas. Oh my god, it's 3 wide up ahead. I think Kvyat's got both Alphas out at the same time without DRS, which is crazy. It speaks a lot about how fast the AlphaTauri is, you know, straight on speed when it can pass both Alfa Romeos without DRS at the same time. But yeah, Kvyat gets it done. At the minute, Hamilton isn't as fast as I thought. He's not flying after me, or at least right now anyway. He might, you know, turn up his pace. But for now, we're actually keeping a healthy gap, which is very, very good. I need to stretch these tyres to lap 19, then I'll pit for softs. So we have to get to lap 19. I don't really want to go any earlier, unless I absolutely have to, because otherwise we're going to be in danger later on the soft tyres of making it to the end. So it has to be another 9 more laps. Hamilton fastest lap then. There you go, confirmation of that. Both Alphas currently just slipstreaming each other. I wonder though if I can get the run here. Nice exit through there. I'm going to try and get on the inside of Senior. There we go. That's what we need. Just to get our nose in, and we can then make the move. Can we get Grosjean as well here in the other Alpha? Slip down the inside there. Lovely. Nice move. And we get both of them. Exactly what the doctor ordered. Not losing too much time. Let's push on now and try and pull away from Hamilton again. Build that gap a little bit. It's getting a bit overcast, but no chance of rain though. So no need to panic as I make a mess of that corner. Worth noting, Russell is at the front of this train of cars here. So he's looking very, very good at the minute on the one-stop strategy. Still no safety car as well, so I am well aware we could get one of those. Meanwhile, Hamilton is still stuck behind Grosjean, and the gap is now back up to 4.2 seconds, which is great. So this stint has been really good for us in terms of pulling away from Lewis. Meanwhile, battling up ahead, Vettel versus Russell versus Kvyat. Let's see if we can use it to close in some more here. Oh, okay, Vettel and Russell pit, along with a few others. Now, all these people on the one-stop are going to be a threat, especially those that are in the pit lane. So Bottas, Verstappen and Perez, those three are going to be the net front three in this race because of the one-stop strategy. They're on the hard tyre now, so we will have a big performance advantage at the end on the softs, but right now they've got track position as we reclaim our former P2. And there we go, Kvyat pits a bit earlier than I expected actually. So that's going to be a hard tyre for Daniil, and I'm guessing Lewis will do the same. No, he doesn't. Lewis stays out for at least one more. Well, that's interesting, that is. So a bit earlier than I thought in terms of going for the hard tyre. We've still got a long way to go on these yet until we go for that soft tyre. That's our only way, and that's going to be our golden ticket to a strong end to the race and some big points here today. So we have to go long to lap 19. Gasly and Ocon pit, and you can see Verstappen and Bottas. They are faster than me. They're at least half a second a lap quicker than me at the minute. They're running at a very strong pace, and they're going to be hard to beat. I think if we can finish on the podium and get P3, that would be a great result. I am hoping that even though I'm going long, I can still stay ahead of Hamilton after my stop. That would be great if possible, but we'll see how that goes. But you can see Kvyat running in a net P5, or net P4 technically when I pit. So yeah, that's what I'm expecting to beat. Okay, it's been a good few laps from me actually, even though the tyre wear is kicking in, and we're above 65% now I believe on the left front. I've been very consistent, managing the fuel, managing the ERS, trying to hold on to that last bit that I have, whilst keeping a good pace. Going to push down to the pits, last bit here. Let's try and make a good strong pit entry. A little bit wide there, could have definitely pushed that a bit more. We're going to go first gear though for the pit lane to try and save a bit of ERS. Now, we were quicker than Kvyat. We've actually increased the gap by over a second since Kvyat first appeared on my Delta. So we could be close to Daniil here. This could be really, really close, I think. So we've done a good job. Now we need a quick stop from the boys. If there's ever a time, it's now. 2.5, not ideal, but it will do. There's Perez, and here comes Kvyat then, so we're going to be just behind him. But we haven't lost out too much, and we're going to be ahead of Sebastian Vettel behind, and Albon, who's flying right now, and Pierre Gasly as well. So all these faster cars behind, we're ahead of all of them. So P5, 7 laps ahead of us, or 8 laps technically if you include this one. Can we get to the podium? That's going to be the question. I think we can, but we need to make sure we use every single lap of these fresh soft tyres. Okay, let's get Kvyat then. We're so much quicker on these fresh tyres. I thought about into the final corner there, but we'll just go for the cutback. Let's try and get him into turn 1 if we can. We know how fast the AlphaTauri is on the straight. You can see Kvyat is using that speed. We're going to go to the outside. Long way round. Nice. I think we swiped off his nose a little bit there, but that's okay. We're through, and we're up to P4. Perez is next. Let's go get him, and also let's try and get this fastest lap if we can on this lap. Right, we're on the back of Perez now. We've got DRS as we close up. This should be a new fastest lap, and hopefully nobody will take that away from us. Now let's try and line up Sergio for the pass here. It's going to probably happen on the back straight. Just going to play it safe. No need to go for any stupid risks. I can just sit behind and save fuel in the RS. This is for the podium, so I want to make sure we make it count. Verstappen looks like he's going to wrap up the win. There's an outside chance we could catch Bottas, but it depends if the tyres hold on. I also reduced my front wing by 1 in the pit stop for a bit more straight line speed, and that seems to be helping. But here we go then, let's get Perez. Giving it everything now. Fuel, ERS, DRS, all of it. Into the back straight chicane. And there we go, around the outside. Bit of a corner cut there, but that's okay. And we get that one done. Cutting across the nose. And we're now P3 and on for a podium. Hamilton not in the top 5. This is big for the championship. This is massive. This is going to bring the championship even closer together again. Oh.
Some information on Giovinazzi. They've got a serious car issue. It looks like they're retiring.
Giovinazzi out, and it looks like for the first time, I think, ever, we're not going to get a safety car or a VSC. I think partly down to the fact that it's too late for a safety car or a VSC to come out anyway. In the meantime, I've been trying to work on this gap. We're starting to run out of tyres now, though, unfortunately. So I don't think we're going to catch Bottas. I've tried it, but yeah, in Sector 3, Bottas pulls a massive gap on me, and I kind of get it back through Sectors 1 and 2, but that's about it, really. So I think we're going to bring this one home in a comfortable 3rd place. With a fastest lap though, which is good. Okay, here we go. Last lap of the race. And in the end, we're going to finish in P3, which is still decent. It's a podium. Had Verstappen and Bottas not gone for the alternate one stop, we could have maybe even actually won the race because we beat Kvyat, who was the guy who started ahead of us. But still, it's going to be another podium. We kind of bounced back after a poor Canadian Grand Prix. Verstappen wins, Bottas second, and Hamilton not in the top 5 is going to bring the championship really close.
Another superb French Grand Prix comes to an end, and it's a thoroughly deserved victory. Anthony Davidson, what helped them deliver this result, do you think?
I think the key here was just the quality of the racecraft, you know? I mean, how many overtakes did they make overall? I'm sure we have a stat person keeping score somewhere, and it's fantastic to watch, wasn't it? This is a strategic sport at the end of the day, but it's always really gratifying to see close-fought battles on track. It's what all the fans are after.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sport that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win.
Well, there we go then, guys. That is it for the race here today for the French Grand Prix. Verstappen picks up the win, Bottas P2, and to be fair, Bottas pushed Max. He finished 1.3 behind at the end, so those two are really, really close. We finish in 3rd on the podium with the fastest lap. Perez P4 ahead of Kvyat, Alex Albon P6, Hamilton only P7, as Gasly, Ocon and Vettel round out the top 10. Missing out on the top 10, we do have Ricciardo in Renault Alpine's home race. He didn't score any points. Sainz, Russell P13, Leclerc, Stroll, Norris, Grosjean, Matsushita, Magnussen and Giovinazzi, who retired towards the end. But crucially today, no safety car or VSC. We look at the standings and we remain in the 4th place. Verstappen takes the lead out front and is 15 points clear from Lewis, and we're 45 points adrift. So we need a big race. You know, we need a win or something, because the top 3 are always in the top 3. Mercedes are so quick. Verstappen is so strong. So it's going to be a challenge. Constructors wise, we are in 3rd place, 160 off the top, and we've got 36 points over AlphaTauri. So we're chilling right now in the Drivers and Constructors Championships. Hopefully we can try and do some more progress, but in order to do that, as always, you guys know what we're going to do. We're going to jump into the menu and put more upgrades onto the car. Well, after the race, we draw the same points each, so 4 apiece, which means we keep our lead in the rivalry with 3 races to go. So this is going to go down to the wire between myself and Max Verstappen. We look at the Acclaim, again, a bit of a step forward, but we've still got a long way to go until level 14. That's quite a bit of a short turnaround actually until the next race in Austria, so no big upgrades that we can do for that race except for the ones that we already have planned. So we're going to go ahead and purchase another one. Now I'm going to go back to the chassis this time, and I'm going to go for a major tyre wear upgrade because we struggle with tyre wear so much, it limits my strategies a lot. So we're going to go ahead and get that on the car, and that will use up the rest of our points. You can see we've got 2 major ones on the way, and that should take us above Renault and McLaren, so a big bit of progress on the way. But for the next race in Austria, there's no upgrades, so the car will stay unchanged, so hopefully we can make it a good one. And yeah, overall a good day at the office at France, another podium, and hopefully we can make another podium in Austria. But guys, if you enjoyed today's episode, then feel free to leave a like. It really helps my channel out and the video out, so if you could try and hit over 1,000 likes, that would be massive from you guys. Subscribe for more daily F1 content. We're closer and closer to 60,000, and if you haven't done so already, check out 2 videos on screen. And as always, a big thank you to my members for supporting the content. But guys, have a great rest of the day, and I'll see you all next time.